Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Ed, and today we are going to be unboxing the Go 6. So this is the Go 6 Gen 2 from BOOX. I did a recent video where I talked a little bit about this device, walked you through the website, some of the marketing materials, but I finally got my hands on it and I wanted to go ahead and make this video. As a matter of fact, I was told by my good friend David that I was not allowed to go to sleep tonight until a video was produced. So let's, without any further ado, go ahead and jump on into it. See you here in a minute. All right, so here we are with the Go 6 Gen 2, and we'll go ahead and get this unboxed. As I've said before, BOOX's packaging is always really nice. I will go ahead and we will take off and we'll look at the cover first. And what's interesting is this is probably, other than the Palma 2 Pro, the smallest device I've ever unboxed. It's definitely the smallest reader I've ever unboxed from a regular reader perspective, but I'm pretty excited about this because I'm supposed to have the plum color. And it looks like I got the blue folio, but there's the cover on the Go 6 Gen 2. It's really nice. It's got kind of a canvasy feel. It's almost like the Note Air 5C, which, as you all know, is one of my favorite devices, especially the way the cover feels on it. It's very much canvas-like. You've got your BOOX logo right here, and it feels really good in the hand. And of course, I can feel the magnets when I close it. So just a pretty nice package overall. So we'll sit that to the side here for a moment, and then we will go ahead and open up the actual device. Yeah, it's a different unboxing experience that I'm used to. Usually there's a sleeve over the BOOX, but in this one it says Go Series, and you pull out the flaps and then you go ahead and expose the device, which is right here. So we'll go ahead and turn this over and pull that out, and that's going to be your device. So we'll look at that here in just a minute. We'll go ahead and we'll pull out and see what our cables are, which I'm pretty sure they're going to be the standard. Yep, USB A to C, that's right there. We'll go ahead and pull this up and see what's underneath here. There's your removal tool for your SD card to be able to add in your SD card. And that's it. So they actually did not give me the InkSense Plus stylus, which was supposed to be in here, unless I'm just missing it. Let me look and see. Nope, it's not here. So yeah, that's one of those things. I mean, I have several, so I'm not really disappointed in that. As always, this was supplied by BOOX, so I appreciate them taking the time to send this out for review. They don't get to see the content ahead of time, and we'll go ahead and shut this back up. And then we will get all of this out of the way, and we'll go ahead and open up the unit. So let's go ahead and open this up. And I do have a InkSense Plus stylus over here to the side. Go ahead and pull this off. We will get this right out of the back. So let's take a look at this, and I'll bring it up towards the camera here. This is the plum, and it's almost black, but it's not. It's very much, you can tell, hopefully the camera's picking this up. It's got a purple tint to it. It's a pretty unique looking device. When they asked me what color, I said, well, let's try plum and see what that looks like. And so they sent that out, and I really appreciate it. And I'll zoom in too in post so you can see this a little bit better on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and move this over. I'll go ahead and grab my InkSense Plus stylus and have it here. I just recently charged it, so it should be in good shape. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and power this up. So we'll go ahead and get this powered up. You'll see it's flashing there, and we'll give it just a minute to power up. Now, I do want to take a minute. This isn't a full review. This is just first impressions, and I'm going to drop a blog post that I wrote down in the description that has all of the specs, all of the changes, all of the updates. That's kind of neat the way they've got that animation going. But it's got all of that information, including where the upgrades are. And there aren't a lot of upgrades with this device. It's very similar to the Go 6. So we'll go ahead and we'll say English. We'll say United States, Chicago. So it's all set up for me there. Set time automatically. 30 minutes sleep and 8 hours power off. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's how I normally set it up. And then it's going to tell me how to use the different components here for the bottom gestures, which I like. I'm not a big fan of the buttons. It's going to tell me what my side gestures do. and then it's going to tell me about the InkSense stylus. So I'm going to go ahead, and I know this stylus works. So I go here, stylus is charged. Now that's good. It's got a full charge. It's going to go ahead and set it up. You can see my nav ball is already right there. And this interface looks a little bit different. So it's reminiscent of the Notes interface, but the bars along the bottom. And I think you kind of have to do that in this form factor to make it work the way that you really need it to work. So let me see if I can go ahead and sync it really quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and I'm successfully logged in. I'm going to go ahead and say okay and and this should be downloading everything in the background. Now there is an update right now for this device, but I'm not going to go through that tonight just because it is late and I do have to work tomorrow. But I do want to go ahead and show you kind of the quick tour of it. And one thing I want to jump into right away is going to be the writing. Just because even though I'm looking at this mostly as a reader, I do want to see how it writes and see how well that works. So we'll go ahead and let's see if we can go into the library here. No, I don't want to do that. I'll say enable. I'll say sync my cloud books. Okay, so it looks like I might be able to get into, there we go. The Neo Reader is working. So I was able to get one of my books here. Now I'm going to set this so it says sync font size. No, I don't want to do that. I do want to automatically detect changes. So I'm going to say okay there. And then now you're going to see this paper. And of course, this is tiny to try to read on a screen like this. We're back to regular, and we will leave it like that for now because I don't want to sit here and just spend all of our time going through how to rotate with a device that doesn't have a G sensor, which again, it doesn't say it has a G sensor. It doesn't say it has auto rotate. So I'm not going to hold that against it. I'm going to hold it against the fact that I haven't had time to read everything yet. But the one thing that I really do want to look at on here is the notes. And yes, I want to enable, and we'll do some handwritten notes here, and we will just go ahead and we'll just do a blank page for now. And now we've got our note, and you'll see that's very small. And of course, this still has the 4.1, so it has the Pac-Man logo here. But let's go ahead and do a quick writing test and see how this feels. Like I said, I will tell you, it doesn't have any stoppers on the bottom, so you see it sliding around there, but it does feel pretty good in the hand. So let's see. So here is a quick, it's very hard to keep still though. Writing test. It's a very slippery feel. There's no kind of film on this, so it's very slick. It is really responsive. Of course, there is wobble in the lines, but it's very fast. I will give it that. Yeah, I got it. So you can see there that the latency on this is really, really good. And of course, my scribble erase is already turned on. And it took that right off. Go ahead and move this down out of the way. The responsiveness on this so far is really fast. Now, I don't know what that'll look like in the long term. I know a lot of people were concerned about this only having 3 gig of RAM, but right now I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that at all. It's moving very, very quickly, and I mean very snappy. So we'll just write. And we'll go swipe in the right spot. It's also slipping. Let's go ahead and put it in its case. And that way we'll get to take a look at it as a full package. So very, very light. I mean, the unit itself is supposed to be only 160 grams. So it's really light. It suffers from the same thing that the Palma 2 Pro does in the fact that there's no place to put the pen. So if you do get the pen, you really don't have a place to put it. And in this case, it's even, I guess you could put it there, but that's on the back. I would think you would want it on the front if you were going to do something with it. But there's no magnet anywhere but here on the back. And in this case, the pin is too long. So it's going to stick up one way or the other, no matter what you do. So that could be a downside for a lot of people. But now that I have this in its case, and it's got a very nice feeling case here that might actually polish the screen a little bit. But now that I have it in its case, it'll probably be easier, much easier to keep it stable. So now I can write, and let's go, hello. You. Yeah, this is really difficult to write on just because of the size. I'm trying to write small, so let me try and write a lot neater here. I like the form factor and is quick. I'm just not sure it feels good. And that's because this is very slick. I mean, this is as close to iPad-like as you're going to get on an e-ink device. Very much like the Tab XC without the cover. The only difference is this nib is slick as well. It's not giving me a lot of friction here. I mean, it's not awful, but it's definitely, you can just see if I'm doing it that way, it's going to move really quickly. But responsiveness, ghosting, it's doing really well considering that it's only got a 3 gig RAM. At least that's the first impression. And I think that's really nice the way that they've got that set up. And even if we go, let's try and go back into that document again. And yeah, you can see that moves really quickly. And I'm just touching like I normally would. And then I'm at the back into the Neo reader. But you can see how fast that's moving. And that's in real time. So I would say that at first glance, I don't think the 3 gig is hurting this. And the reason I say that is because it's a small device. It's not having to refresh quite as big of a screen. And so there's not as much labor intensive uh, activity going on. Now, I haven't downloaded apps yet. I haven't opened Kindle. I haven't opened Kobo. None of those are pre-installed. I'm not even signed into Google Play. I'm going to have to do that in another video. This was very much just to get the unboxing and first impressions of the device itself. Now, what I will say is they mention very much this design here, and I do love that color. I've got to say, I love that deep purple, but it's understated. You've got the books there. You got the books logo here, but it's very, very faint. I don't even know if the camera will pick it up. Yeah, there it is. So it's very faint. I think they've made this just as good as far as responsiveness as they did with the Go 10.3 Gen 2. Much better than what I heard about the Go 7. And I think that also it's on par or close to the Tab XC as far as the way the writing feels, and the responsiveness I think is on par with the Tab XC. Now that's very early impressions. It's also very slippery, just like the Tab XC. And I think that as I get to use it more and get to understand it more, we'll see just how well this works. But so far, so good. Would I use this as a writing tool? Probably not. Would I maybe do a quick jot? Maybe if I could find the pen and the pen happened to be in my bag. But that's part of the beauty of a size like this is it's very portable and you can take it with you. And you shouldn't have to worry about where your pen is. So there's nothing to do with this pen. They don't even have the flap, which would have made a little bit of sense on something this form factor. But I think just the fact that the pen isn't made to fit it causes me a little bit of pause. But again, very solidly designed. It's very light in the hand. You have your SD card slot right there and your USB-C, have your power button here on the top. So I'm excited. I'm going to get it loaded up with some books. I may even try and read with it some tonight and read the library book and go through that a little bit. Because one thing about the Palma 2 Pro that I still struggle with is the form factor, that narrowness. This is much more like what I'm used to for a reader. And I think that I'll really enjoy it, especially when you can reflow a document and really make it look right. At first, I was wondering if my Kobo Aura 1 was going to be that much bigger of a screen, and it really is. So if you put those right next to each other, this is a much bigger diagonal than this. But what I'm hoping is once I get everything loaded onto here from the Kobo, from Project Gutenberg and everything, that this is going to give me an uptick in clarity. And maybe that'll make it worth the shift from something like this, which is still very nice and it's very portable, but it's thicker and it's heavier because it's a bit older technology. Whereas this thing is feather light. I mean feather light. And the idea that it's in that case and you can take this with you anywhere. It is technically pocketable if you wanted to put it inside of some cargo shorts or something like that, whereas something like this wouldn't be. And I think that's where the value potentially lies in this. So again, check out my blog. I'm going to put it down the bottom. I didn't really go into tech specs here because not much has changed. If you look in the blog, you'll see the only things that really changed were the fact that this has 3 gigs of storage and that it has writing capabilities. Other than that, it's the exact same form factor that the other one was, with some differences in the machining here and just a few aesthetics, but nothing like you would necessarily think of as a major upgrade. 1 extra gigabyte and pen input. That's pretty much it. So it's a nice little facelift. All right, well, let's jump back over and we will wrap this up and I will see you here in just a second. All right, everybody. So what are my initial thoughts and impressions on this little device? To be honest, I kind of like it. I like it a lot. Now, I've only been playing with it a little while. I still haven't had time to go ahead and put Kobo and Kindle. I'll probably do that as soon as I'm offline. Get those installed, get Libby installed, and have that ready to go. I'll probably do another video this weekend on this just to show you, after living with it a little while. But I am glad they didn't send me the clear case similar to the Palma 2 Pro that you could slip it in. I'm glad they sent me this canvas-like folio instead. I like this form factor. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I like the idea that it's very, very portable, and the screen on that is clear, and the reflections, right there, I'm going directly into a light, and it starts to have an issue. But even in most angles, you're not going to see that. So it works really well. I didn't want to go into a whole bunch of detail on this tonight just because I just got it and I don't want to go into reloading everything and getting all that set up. But I will push it out to it. I'll push out all my documents. I'll push out all my books. You could see from trying to read a Word document that it's very hard to do that small text on the screen. Where this is really going to shine for me is going to be as a reader. That's why I was very excited when Books approached me about it. My Kobo is getting older, and I thought if I'm going to get a reader, the Palma 2 Pro works, and I do find myself reading on it quite a bit, but I don't love the color screen. I don't love Kaleido. That's not what I primarily read with. And quite frankly, the form factor is just a little off-putting. I don't feel like I'm making as much progress because even though they're both 6, you're actually getting a little bit more than 6 inches on the Palma 2 Pro. This form factor and format makes it feel more like a page. And I don't know if that's just a mental, psychological barrier I have, but I feel like I'm reading more. And I also feel like the text reflows better on a wider format screen. But anyway, let me know what you think. Drop your ideas down in the comments, read the blog, check it out first right after this video. Let me know what you think about a device like this. Do you think it has to have so much RAM in order to function? I mean, remember that the Remarkable just got to 4 gigabytes of RAM, and those are larger devices. And on a small device, how much do you need? And of course, we'll get to know once we start to install apps, but at the same time, how many apps are you going to install on this? Is this going to be your primary writing tablet? For most people, I would say no. I would say this is for quick grocery lists. This is for quick reminders of, hey, somebody's saying something really important. I want to write that down. That's it. I wouldn't see myself sitting down and wanting to write on this for an extended session. Number one, because of the size, and second, because of the active pen. Even with an EMR stylus, though, I don't think that I would want to write for an extended period of time on this. Now, the nice thing is it's holdable in one hand, so it's very easy to actually write and hold it up and do that. But again, it would be for short, quick notes. But that's me. I wanted to get this video out tonight just to show you the unboxing, show you what it looked like. I love the plum color. I love the form factor. I love the canvas folio. Let me know your thoughts. Drop them down in the comments. And until next time, keep on moving forward, and we will talk to you soon. Bye now.